Welcome to the ever episode of Pulse Check. Today we got a good friend of mine, Liz. Liz, do you want to quickly just introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Liz, Elizabeth Barr. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. I went to nursing school for undergrad in Pennsylvania, and then I was a nurse in the NICU for a couple years before applying to Trinity, and then got into med school at Trinity School of Medicine, and that's where I met Roche. And here we are, about to match. Woo!
Yeah. So just for reference, Liz and I, we go to the same med school. We're both graduating this year, both matching this year. At the time of recording this podcast, it's currently Wednesday, March 19th. It is that awkward period between finding out whether or not we matched to finding out where we matched right now. So we're both kind of sitting tight here. Um, you know, we'll we'll rewind a little bit, but before we do that, I'm just gonna, break the barrier and say, Liz, how did Monday go for you?
Woo! It was great. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got an email at 9:58. Woohoo! We matched,
nice.
baby.
Congratulations. You can see that smile on your face. It was
Yeah.
funny. I didn't get my email till like 10. I knew the email was gonna come at 10 and I didn't get it till like 10:08. So for
Oh,
like at like
no.
10:04, I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, they're like emailing all the soap people like a little bit later. So I started freaking out.
No.
And then I went to the NRMP website and it showed my status as matched. So I did match. And then I got my email after, but I was like freaking out for like 5 minutes there.
Oh, smart that you went to the website. I didn't even think to do that. But yeah, I was 9:58, but man, I bet the suspense was eating you alive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. And I also just got like I came off a red eye from a trip to Mexico City. Didn't sleep at all the night before. So I was just yeah, my body was going through it pretty much.
Oh no. I can't imagine that.
Yeah. But let's rewind a little bit before match week. Kind of curious to see like how are you feeling, the weeks going into match week? Was it something that was on your mind a lot? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
I was, needless to say, super anxious leading up to match. I felt like overall pretty confident about the match itself, but was beating myself up about my ranking. And so it was a week straight of tears.
Really?
Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Were you worried about like if you ranked wrong or like what was your or did you have any regrets with the way you ranked after or like
Yes, I had like severe buyer's remorse. I was just like, why didn't I put home first?
wow.
I didn't go more into detail about that, but
Yeah.
it was kind of traumatizing. I
Oh
wish
my
I had read
God.
like a week before or a few weeks before, but I just couldn't decide. I couldn't figure out my top four,
Yeah.
and I kept rearranging those
Yeah.
until literally the last second. I submitted at 9:58 or
Oh my
8:59.
oh
And
my God.
had I missed the 9 p.m. Time frame, I would have been out of the match completely. So
Yeah. Holy. Yeah, you were definitely playing at high risk there, but I mean I feel that because so I knew what my number one would have been. But like my top five, like the rest after were just like a jumble. Like I kept switching them up like back to back. There's a point where I certified my list and then went back and then changed something and then certified it and then said, "Oh, never mind, I don't want to do that." And then went back and then recertified again. So like I did switch a couple times too.
wow,
Yeah.
okay. Oh man, I wish like I knew my top one, my number one, but it was mostly 5 through 17. I was just like, we'll just do any like kind of figure out the order, but 1 through 4, I could not figure out for the life of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. That means hopefully you have a really good top five option. So
Yeah.
your biggest worry, I guess, going before a match was kind of just your rank list or anything like that. Were you worried at all about like, whether you had to potentially soap or anything like that?
I did not honestly anticipate it. I had about a handful of programs that told me I was going to be in their top group.
Good.
So I felt like pretty like not super worried about matching itself, but
Yeah.
I had a lot of like debating factors, deciding factors. I had to decide whether I wanted to rank peds top or family top, and
All
then
right. Yeah. Because you
so I
do
had like
applied.
a ton, I dual applied, and I had a ton of like major factors I had to figure out with
Uh,
Pete's family, but also like, do I want to stay on the mainland or do I want to go home to Hawaii? So
yeah,
it was tough. It was so tough, dude. Honestly, the hardest decision I've ever had to make. I didn't think it was going to be this stressful.
yeah, yeah. And I remember for me, I took notes during most of my interviews, but I like kept going back and thinking like, oh, how did I feel after this interview? And I feel like I just blanked.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I'd have this Excel, the whole Excel sheet all
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
man.
but I mean, I'm glad that's over. I was pretty lucky. I feel like I had such a busy few weeks before with just like work and traveling and stuff. I
Keep
didn't
your
feel
mental.
it. Yeah, but when the Friday hit and I started like some of the group chats started going off like, oh, like a week till match, then it really started hitting me. So like all weekend
Yeah.
I was like a little crippled about it, but I mean,
Yeah.
we did it. We made it. We matched.
We did it. I
Yeah.
know.
So take
What was that?
no, go ahead.
I even had like crazy before ranking. My boyfriend Bryce like put things in a hat and had me like pick them out. And
Really?
my number one got picked out of the hat twice in a row.
No way.
He just was trying to feel like get my emotions like spring, whatever emotions
Yeah.
would come. And also he put things in an envelope and like pretended to see how I'd feel like depending on where I matched and
Yeah.
tried to help. And then we made like a big whiteboard and had like the top four in each category. Like we would rank the top four in each category based on like location, faculty and staff, residents there, like training
Wow.
category, and then we'd like tally them all up and see which ones got the highest in each category.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy.
So you've really thought this through.
It was tough. It was so
Yeah.
tough.
That's a pretty smart idea, though. I got to give it to him. I
Yeah,
wish I
yeah.
thought of that. Take me back to the moment when you actually found out you did match. Like, what were you doing? Where were you? How did it feel?
Okay, the moment I found out I matched, let's see, I was sitting with my preceptor. I'm in anesthesia right now with Dr. Combrink. Amazing guy, just such an amazing rotation. I was recommended to take it fourth year, so I looked down, my watch actually notified me, and then I saw the email. I was like, oh, and then I showed it to him. So he was the first person that
Hell
actually
yeah.
saw it, and he was like, that's yeah. And so that was an awesome moment. And then actually two of my classmates, Shawnee and Gina, were in surgery. So they came in the physician lounge and they were like,
Yeah.
yeah. And they were like, they didn't know that I saw them. So they were like trying to see like, is she freaking out or is she
Yeah.
happy?
Yeah.
It was good. It was
That's
really,
awesome.
yeah.
And then you just went back to straight tubing people.
Yeah, yeah. I actually got my first direct laryngoscopy that day because I kept using the McGrath intubation,
Yeah.
but this one was without the screen, so I was like, "Let's go."
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I remember I came home and it was just me and my mom and like I came from red eye, so I told her I was gonna sleep, but she was kind of just like, oh, like when are you finding out? So I told her I won't find out till the afternoon just because I wanted her to like back off a little bit.
That is
So it was
good
just kind of
call.
yeah, so it was kind of just me in my room like freaking out a little bit.
Oh, oh
And then I saw
no.
it. Well, I was waiting and then my email was a
I
little
know,
delayed
wait.
and Kate is messaging me like, so how'd it go? And I was like, oh my God, like the emails went out and I didn't get anything. So then I started freaking out that I may have soaped. Um,
Oh my
and then I
God.
ended up checking the NRMP website right away and it said that you matched and I like was so
Oh,
pumped.
oh, yay.
Yeah.
10:08.
Yeah, 10:08. Not gonna forget that number.
Wow. That's awesome. That's so exciting.
Yeah. So how has it been kind of since matching? Like where is your head at now? Are you like excited for Friday? Are you anxious or are you worried about anything or
I've been overall pretty chill until honestly today. I've been kind of anxious about it. I had this dream that very realistic dream I got. I was at my number two place and it was just so realistic and I was like, it's just a crazy roller coaster of emotions, because you're saying yes to one place and no to all the rest.
yeah.
So it's like this excitement and stoke, but while simultaneously grieving the other places.
Yeah.
So I woke up like, whoa, this was wild, and it was
Yeah.
exciting, but I've just been anxious a little bit today.
No, yeah, I feel that. I'm also a little bit anxious.
How about you? Yeah.
I feel like I feel like to know that a PD and like a program and like a whole cohort of residents like know that I'm gonna be with them for the next 3 years, but I don't know that.
Already,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like the fact that I don't know that is like so uneasy. Um,
Yeah.
so
Do you think all the residents know too?
yeah, yeah, all the residents should know. I believe. I believe that's what I've heard.
I was just saying that. I
Yeah.
was just,
And
oh,
so just thinking, like, I don't know, I just keep thinking, I wonder if they're like excited. I wonder if they're like, oh man, we got stuck with this kid or like anything like
no.
that. So like, I think I've just been trying to wrap my head around that. But I am very excited. I am also nervous because I'm very curious where in my rank list I'm going to end up. Um,
Yeah.
I obviously, like, I've seen stories of like a lot of people who get their number one choice, get their top three, and then I hear stories of people who like do like 20 interviews and like get there like dead last. So it's just like I don't know what to expect. So we'll see.
Wow, yes. Do
Yeah.
you believe people when they say the algorithm favors the applicant personally?
Uh, I don't know. I just don't see how, because I don't know. I feel like the algorithm makes sense to me, so I don't see how it favors one of the other. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think like they look at each applicant's rank list first. Like they're not gonna, because in the past I was told that they're gonna first try to fill programs that aren't as strong. So say a
Oh,
program had just soap in the past,
okay.
people have convinced me before the match process, like in the fall, they convinced me that they would fill those programs first.
Right.
So if they were anywhere like near the top on an applicant's list, they're going to fill the struggling programs first. But I actually don't believe that to be true. I think
Yeah,
that
that's
they do look
interesting.
at the applicants list and go down one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the first choice. Are they ranked in the top? No. Number two, yeah, and so on.
Okay, that's interesting. I actually have never heard that before, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I hope they favor the applicants because like
Yeah, I think so.
I think we could use something going for us, but
Yeah.
yeah. And what's your plan for match day?
I'm going to the match ceremony
Nice.
at school. Yeah, I'm excited.
Are you gonna have like your boyfriend, family, anyone else also joining you?
Yeah, yeah, he and his family, and then some of my friends, Miss Bun Cody, former students coming. My friend Zana's coming. My other friends Lexi and Austin. So yeah, I'm excited, and they've had us send in like some baby photos and photos
Nice.
slideshow. So I'm excited to just like relive awesome memories of school and being on the island.
Nice. And so going into match day, where do you think your reaction is going to be? Like, what's your best case scenario? What's your worst case scenario? How are you going to feel if you don't get like a certain program or a certain rank?
I think I have so many mixed emotions because after I ranked, I was like, dang, maybe I should have put home number one and two, and I didn't. So I think like what I did end up doing was I ranked the strongest program for what I thought would be best. And actually, it was a program that had a really strong mix of both peds and family.
Nice.
So this program has a lot of residents there. They have like ortho, gen surge, EM, IM, family, OB, but they don't have peds. So a lot of times they say the family residents are basically the pediatric residents
Oh,
too.
nice.
They have like a tower with a NICU, PICU, peds ER, like
Wow.
everything. So I loved like the balance they had there. But then after I submitted, I was like, this other program was strongly recruiting me, but they have like no weekends, no call, no nights, so good like work-life
Oh, yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
And they just had like a huge salary increase. And then the other ones were back home. So I think I'll be like really excited if I end up back home because the location, but then I'll be really stoked for the strong program that I ranked first too. So I think either way, I think I just gotta get stoked and just trust that it's wherever we're meant to be
Yeah.
is where you end up. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What
How
else?
about you? Do you think I have seen like this morning I watched a video on someone that was really sad when they opened it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very curious. I'm very excited just to know where I'm going to be for the next 3 years. And like I know my top X amount of programs are all really good, really, really good programs, and I'd be really lucky to be at all of them. you know,
That's awesome.
I do have like I feel like I have a toxic mindset in the fact that like if I don't get a top certain amount, I'm just gonna like blame it on myself and just be like, oh, you weren't like a good enough applicant, which I know is like completely toxic, probably not true and like and whatnot.
It's
Um,
so easy to get hard down on yourself and compare, and yeah, it's
yeah.
so
So it's
easy.
like I feel like that'll cross through my mind, but I'm working really hard on telling myself that like no matter where I go, I'm gonna be a pediatrician and I'm gonna be a pretty good one,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah,
I'm just excited. Yeah.
that's awesome.
And
Uh,
okay, so once we get through match, Friday's over, what's next steps? Like what is your next few months looking like until you start intern year?
so I have one last month of rotations in med school. So one last month of med school, I'll be in family medicine here in Macon, Georgia, and then I'm gonna probably head home to Hawaii and hang out with my family before I won't be able to as much during residency.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I'll probably end up moving wherever I get placed, probably near the end of June or maybe mid-June.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna fly back to Atlanta for graduation,
Yeah, me too.
May 17th, and then I'll probably go actually back home again,
Yeah, me too.
for like another month. Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm probably doing the same. I will be in Atlanta. I'll probably go back home and I'll probably move to wherever I end up like early to mid June, I'd assume.
nice.
Hopefully I secure a spot before that, but yeah,
Yeah.
until then, just traveling and hopefully relaxing a little bit.
Have you
Yeah.
looked at places at all anywhere?
No, no, I've been
Good,
staying
good.
away from doing that, but I'm sure as soon as Friday hits, I'm going to be scouring.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've heard this from a few residents, but apparently, like as soon as Friday comes, like they already start like putting you into group chats the day of. They start like reaching out to you, like get meetings and stuff going and like things like that.
Oh, I just got like chills. That's crazy to
Yeah,
think.
so apparently things move really quickly as soon as you match. So I'm also very excited for that though.
That is cool. It's like you have a new family and get
Yeah.
really close to these people. So I've seen people make like um houses within the program, like you're on this team and this team and
Oh yeah.
kind of fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Is there anything you're nervous for when it comes to intern year?
Yes, I'm very nervous that after since step two, all of my medical knowledge has to the building.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I feel like I absolutely forgot everything.
Yes, like I'm in anesthesia right now and I'm like, okay, let me try to be pimped. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah,
We're doing farm and all the things. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be kind of insane that starting July, any patient, like we're going to be signing off on patient charts and we're going to be signing off on.
Doctor. Yeah.
So I feel like it's like a whole like I'm definitely confident, but I feel like it's crazy that now like whatever I make whenever I make a decision, like it actually is going to affect someone's life. As a med student, you have the safety blanket a little bit,
Yeah.
but now it's like definitely a lot different.
I know previously you mentioned imposter syndrome and it's like really cliche, but it's actually so true. Like you don't feel like you should be in this role.
Yeah.
No.
I'm very curious for your thoughts on this because obviously, so Liz and I have kind of been through it together, basic sciences, rotations, and stuff like that. And obviously, now we're kind of at the higher level of med school, we're seniors, and like now we're pretty much going back to the bottom of the food chain. Are you nervous about that at all, or how do you feel about that?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like even as a new nurse, felt I was the runt of the litter, and I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna get my butt handed to me by an attending, and you just have to remember, like, we're all here to best care for the patient, and no matter like how somebody tells you or yells at you or is ridiculously assertive for no reason, it's like it's hard to just look past that and to
Yeah,
accept constructive criticism.
yeah,
But I think like over time, just remembering like just leave things on the field or on the court or in the pool. Like don't take it with you home and just take everything with a grain of salt.
yeah. Definitely take everything with a grain of salt.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm very curious because I feel like, I hear some program cultures where it's like very cutthroat and it's like if you mess up, like you're getting yelled at, whatever, cough, cough surgery. But then,
Yeah,
especially for us in like peds and even here in family, it's a lot more like lighthearted, a lot more chill. And so I'm
yeah,
hoping it stays true to that. But I guess we'll see.
yeah. I feel like it's great to be in in these fields because life's just too hard, or life's just too short to be like so hard on yourself, you know?
Yeah. And so for you, Liz, after do you have any plans after residency? Do you know if you want to like subspecialize into anything, or will that depend on whether you land in family
I
needs?
have an open mind. I would love to be able to do some sort of hybrid, like clinic and hospital if
Nice.
possible. And I would love to be able to do locums
Nice.
here and abroad. I think it would be really neat to be able to do world like global health medicine and be able to either I know like New Zealand's always recruiting US
Yeah.
doctors. So that would be pretty sick. And like my parents are GS like civilian physicians for the military, but they you can have contracts like in Italy and
Uh-huh.
Germany and all over. So I think it'd be really cool. Asia even. So
Yeah, that does sound really cool. And okay, looking back at, the entire match process, what are some advice or words of advice that you have for next year's match class? We're going to be going through it.
I would say next year's match class, I would say definitely really try to get to know the residents as much as you can. Go to every like meet and greet, even if it's virtual, because this is you're going to be your new family, and you're going to be spending every single day of your life with them. So I think that's almost one of the biggest factors when choosing to rank your programs, the people there.
Yeah.
Like if you're not vibing with them, I would not rank them. And also I would weigh out like your priorities. Like is your top gonna be geographical location or training or the people, the food.
Yeah.
So I think like first trying to like learn what you care about most in a program before ranking, and just remembering at the end of the day, like you're gonna be, it's so annoying when people say this, but you're gonna be at where you're meant to be and like it'll all work out. But it is true, like it's all what you put into it and what you make of it. So whatever program it is, like if you want to get the most out of it, you got to put that much into it. So yeah.
Nice. I'm really glad you said that because I too like going into programs like even when I was oops even when I was like looking at programs to apply to, I was kind of just looking mainly at like whether the program was good and where it was. And then
Mhm.
it wasn't until like through interview season when I started thinking like, oh, like salaries, kind of an important part of life. Like I need to make sure I'm financially sound to some degree.
Yeah.
Like even like things like food and even like the people I'm going to be with. There's one program that like I absolutely loved even before I interviewed with, and the program's really strong, really good. And then just come interview day, the interview with the faculty went really well, but I just had some like really weird interactions with some of the residents, and it just left like a really weird taste in my mouth, and I definitely, factored that in a little bit to my rank process.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. That's super important. Get to know people, forge relationships. I'd say it's also better, even not only for your ranking, but even for their ranking. If they get to know you a little bit better, then they'll probably be a little bit more comfortable with ranking you as well. So I totally agree with both of that. Um,
Yeah. I had multiple PDs tell me, like we can fix stupid, but we can't fix personality. So like it really makes a difference if you get to know them and you make a good impression on them.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And my last question for you is if you could sum up match week or even just the whole match process in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, definitely. First and foremost, exciting. This is like everything you've worked for in your entire career, maybe 12 years so of your life. So just enjoy it. So exciting, anticipatory.
Hmm.
Like it's so much suspense and you're just anticipating what's gonna happen. You have no idea, and you're like, all right, it's in the algorithm's hands, it's in God's hands. So exciting, anticipatory, and definitely stressful.
Yeah,
It's tough,
yeah,
but we all like are going through it together. So I think it's good to lean on each other.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I like those 3 words. Well, thank you, Liz. I really appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us. All the best for you with Match Day Friday. I'm obviously going to be keeping tabs. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good luck. I'm
Thank
stoked for
you.
you.